Welcome to the Self Reality Podcast. I'm your host, Angie Hanlon, and this is a show where we like to talk all things reality TV and all of the feelings we have about them. This week, we are talking Survivor, Season 48, Episode 5, and my co-host today, spectacular, handsome Nick Hanlon.
Hello.
Welcome,
Can
sir.
you
How
hear
are you?
me? Check. We
Check,
in?
check.
All
I
right.
can hear you. Can you hear
You're
me?
recording? It's recording. Okay, good. Hi, everybody.
So, Nick, tell everybody, well, first of all, of course, if you're liking my content, please give me a like, click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and be sure to share, comment, all the things. Nick, why don't you tell them about your stuff before we get into it?
Check out Kayfabe Wrestling Talk. It's where you go. You want to hear wrestling the way it should be talked about. I got a WrestleMania episode dropping from night 2 through my iPhone, and also the Dirty Glass podcast, booze reviews for the unrefined with Denny the Mixologist. Check it out, like and subscribe.
All right. Awesome. So, you know what? Let's get right into it. This is just, I got to say, this season's rocking and rolling, man. And it's
Pick it up.
picking up, and it's picking up steam fast. So last week we left on the Thomas vote out, the surprise, the blind side, and I loves me a blind side.
Yep.
Shaheen's destroyed, like you said. It's like his lover.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was interesting. So how do you feel about the aftermath? Like, I think
Why did Kyle played it perfect?
Pardon me?
Kyle played it perfect. Sorry, Shaheen what? What's her name? Shaheen?
His name's
Who's
Shaheen.
Okay, all right. I was confused there
It's
for
the
a second.
the bearded guy. I actually didn't know if Camilla had used her open vote, her extra vote, until like they said it at the start of like this episode. And we had talked about this in last week's, is that she gave it to Kyle. Still not sure why. I don't think we find out. And what do you feel? So how do you feel about, now I remember what you mean about Kyle. Why don't you tell us though, why you think Kyle played it so well? Like the aftermath.
Kyle said he played the idol because he thought somebody went through his bag.
That was
Genius.
so amazing. Like such a smart, like
And they're still pretending not to be in a team, him and Camilla, and they're still believing him.
Which is just after what just happened. But then again, with Kyle's his excellent cover saying, "I noticed you went through the bag," like, man, oh man, like just amazing. So Shaheen, he's upset, right? Like he said, what I love though, don't you find it funny that he said, okay, I have to laugh at this. It was such a good alliance. Was it? You guys never, the first time you go to tribal, you lose somebody. That's not a good alliance, my friend.
He just was having fun.
Good connections. You're all from Cali. That's great. It wasn't a good alliance. A good alliance goes far. Now, Camilla and Kyle, that's a good alliance.
That's an alliance.
Are crushing. And the other thing about the aftermath, interestingly, was Joe being kind of bothered, saying to Kyle, he seemed to be kind of intimating, I thought we had genuine conversations. And I think that's where people get stuck here. It's like,
so I'm supposed to let you vote me out?
Thank you. Yeah. I find it very peculiar. And people can sort of dichotomize or whatever you want to call it, like compartmentalize, I think. Like, I think you have to be successful. I think on the one hand, because it's the whole idea of the game. You have to go in and you have to become friends and make connections, which can be difficult in that span of time, but there's some sort of things there that would allow for it. But at the same time, you're going to have to lie and you're going to have to vote people out. It's the game.
Sometimes you're like, have you seen the show? And Joe is one of those people where you're like, have you seen the show?
I know. He features heavily. I don't want to go too hard on him though, because like he's such a sweet.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
He's such a good person. Like I just, anyway, we'll get into that.
Maybe a little too later. Good for Survivor.
Maybe you need, like, I think you need a dash of like dastardliness. Isn't that a good word I just thought of right now? Dastardly. You've got to be a little bit, right?
You got to be dastardly. You got to be.
You do, right?
I mean, you got to think like you're playing a game. And
remember.
But you're there, so it's. Yeah, you got to remind yourself. It's tough. I mean, it would, yeah.
I think I would struggle because I do, when I make connections. So, you really want to trust people, and that sort of constant feeling of betrayal. I think Joe just needs, I think if he could just hide his disappointments a little better, he would fare.
Kind of like Say.
Yes.
But,
so, yeah.
And then we get the credits, and then Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, please.
I was gonna say, did you have more to say? Because like right away we got a challenge after the
Yeah,
credits.
I was
Crazy.
no, I was getting right to challenge. I was getting right to the challenge. So it's a reward challenge.
I think it's our first only reward challenge of the
is.
season.
And it's a sanctuary visit. And like, I don't know about you, I find the sanctuary visits kind of boring unless they've kind of brought in people from different tribes or something. It's just sort of it's interesting. Like I enjoy watching it, but like I don't feel like people are utilizing it. But maybe it's just the first one. Maybe it's just the first one.
Well, they used to always have some sort of advantage there too.
Right? Like there's an
And it's like they haven't the
advantage.
last couple times.
Or someone would show up, like I can't even remember, like last season, one of them used it to plan out like a really elaborate plan that ended up working. I think it was oh my goodness, Andy. Remember Andy? Like they came up with a very and maybe it's just the first one and they're all well, I'm getting ahead of it. So the reward is basically the reward's gonna be
They got
sanctuary,
food and stuff.
pastries, everyone's so excited. And do you sometimes just get annoyed by the level of excitement for a donut?
You do, but after
But
a
then
fucking
I was
couple week or a week or whatever it
9
is.
days of no food. So I have to say, I always get like, okay, like relax on the donuts, or whenever it's peanut butter or something, people
Well,
just
you
lose.
understand though, these people are asking them their favorite food before the show, right?
Yes.
So they're playing off of that. Like if they said like, I don't even know.
Pizza. Like if
I have there's a packed bong of weed at the sanctuary right now for you. I'd be doing freaking cartwheels.
cold beer.
I'd punch children. Yeah, beer, some wings, chips, you know. Like so if they're playing on that, like a donut, they'd be like, all right. But you got an egg salad sandwich from a gas station? I'm in. I'm excited.
You love your gas station egg salad sandwiches.
Ooh,
Do you remember when we went out east, like 20 years ago now, probably? Like we drove for 8 hours when we were in like New Brunswick because we got lost and we didn't have GPS back then. And we finally found the gas station.
It was open for 4 more minutes. I remember.
Like slammed down like 3 eggs. I'm sorry, it just makes me laugh because you're
the best.
I love
I was
egg
so happy after eating those egg salad sandwiches.
Well, we were all angry. Like, I mean, that was an angry 8 hours of no food and fear of running out of gas. That was scary. Remember, it was just trees and logging trucks.
I kept on thinking I saw buildings through the trees, and it was just hallucinations of hunger. I think halfway through, I found those crunchy country bar things. Remember? We had one buried under a bunch of stuff. I'm like, I found a box of these things, and we all like had one.
They were kind of like
like Survivor.
Yes, exactly like. I'm sorry, I took us down a. God, that's funny.
Did you ever notice Jeff making the ball drop joke?
No.
So like the challenge is you got to hit a target to release balls, and Joe goes or Jeff, sorry, says, yeah, your balls will drop. And he made a joke about it saying like this challenge is the next stage of life.
That's amazing.
Or something like that. Like it being the next stage in this challenge is like the next stage of life. I think that's how he put it. So he made like a balls dropping joke because they're balls. Like he literally said the balls drop.
That's
and in this
so
challenge,
funny.
like in life, it's the next stage.
I think I was busy writing down what the challenge was. And by the way, I didn't finish. So I do get annoyed when they get excited at first. And then I think, but if I hadn't eaten for 9 days, I'd probably do cartwheels for a donut as well. Good old like honey cruller or something, you know?
Oh man. Honey cruller would be, yeah, you know.
Just the
or a box of Tidbits, just the chocolate glazed ones. Or the
like Dutchies.
Birthday cake. Dutchies are good.
Okay, now I get
slider.
it. Oh, an apple
yeah,
slider.
well, exactly.
I get it.
Like,
we got
2 pounds of wings, well done, all flat.
From Kelsey's?
Like, I'm in.
I just think sometimes I'm
from
like,
a gas station.
When I'm watching from a gas station, I'm always just thinking, God, they're so excited. And then I do, my mind does switch over, was my point. So this one was, I thought, interesting. So the balls dropping I missed, but
that's the start, right?
They had the rotating, so they had to throw sandbags at a rotating target. I've never seen that with the thing that moved, like they threw it. That was new.
Unscrews it.
Right? And then I don't know that I've seen this a lot, maybe once or twice, where they bounce the ball off a net, like a little mini trampoline into the net, which I think adds a second layer of complexity. I did like that. I'm starting to actually get into challenges now that I'm paying more attention. I think that's what's happening. Because remember, I was like, challenges.
Yeah, you're sick of them. But now we're writing it down, totally.
I'm writing it down. Oh yeah, and then sorry, and then the last thing is I think 3 targets had to roll a ball down and like land in sort of a little tray with a circle in it. So the challenge, Logie wins. I mean, Logie, even with a new tribe, is crushing. Vula comes in second. Siva loses. I'm gonna talk about a grievance I now have. First, Mary. Yeah, I have a real problem with this. Like this really pissed me off. So Mary has not won any kind of like they won the immunity or whatever last week, but she hasn't gotten a reward, right? So she's just like, I think she's just so ecstatic. And I'm going to ask your opinion on this in a second, though. Maybe I'm wrong. I think she was just so excited to win some food reward that she was just expressing that. Do I think it's a good move to do that? Not really. I think it's it is a little bit, these guys, other people, there's a team not getting anything, but I also understand that she's just
But
so
she's not
excited.
like, ha ha ha, you
Yeah,
don't
she's
get
not like,
anything.
yeah, she's not like suckers, suck it, bitch. Like she's just so excited, I think, that she's gonna get food that she expresses that. Say, dear Lord, like just gets pissy. And what does she say? Like she's just,
Well, there should be a little more tactful or something.
yeah, like it's just, I think, just don't say anything.
Yeah, and
Don't
that's what,
say
what's his
anything.
name?
Mitch.
Mitch. He even says that sometimes there's time to keep quiet.
And that's
Like
why
I
I like,
said, side camera comments.
like, why are you saying that in front of everyone? It makes you look like the sore loser. I don't think Mary was even a sore winner in that case. I think she was just excited. What's your opinion? Like,
I think Say was just jealous. I think Say celebrated when she won.
right?
It's silly.
Okay,
It's
really,
jealous.
the level of entitlement, and we're gonna get into it a little bit more because like she does a couple other things that really friggin' piss me off because it's like her level of entitlement and hypocrisy that she can be a sore loser and everyone's supposed to behave in the way she thinks, but if the
100%.
roles are reversed, such as, I don't know, eating like one of the last things back at her camp without like asking anyone, one of the last pieces of fruit or some shit, like what? And they okay,
Chrissy
anyway.
was micromanaging quite a bit too, though.
Well, let's get into that. So Logie wins, which is great. Vula, I was actually just glad that they won to get a bit of the stink off the Vula tribe. And then Siva, which is, Cedric. God, poor Cedric and Say just keep losing. They lose. So we're back at Siva, who've lost. Bianca.
Everybody hates Say, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I want to talk about, say, like, so Chrissy micromanaging. Well, yeah. I think that's a Gen X thing, Nick. I think that Gen X, this is my comment. They tend to get angrier about those sort of things that you need to survive, like people who eat more food than others and don't ask, people who don't do their fair share at tribal, who seem lazier. Like, and maybe I'm misinterpreting this, Nick, but do you not find that like Gen Xers tend to get more pissed off about stuff like that than the younger folk?
We're definitely the generation that would write our name on something in the fridge.
I have done that. I've had roommates.
There was one time when Poodle lived with us. You might know this story.
I need to hear it, though.
He left chicken in the fridge for himself or whatever to eat, and I was sleeping. It's like 2 a.m. Poodle comes crashing through my door drunk, yelling at me about eating his chicken. And to turn my light off, he punched the light switch off and put a hole in the wall. And it turned out Dad ate said chicken.
Owner of the house.
But this is a perfect example of don't eat my shit. It wasn't me, but
why I'm laughing so heartily is I've seen this type of scenario play out.
I'm in bed. Poodle just eat my chicken. Yeah.
How old were you?
Whenever I think you might have been in the apartment and I was in the room.
Okay.
Maybe.
Fuck.
I don't know. Young.
My God,
I might have been. This is probably before because I moved out. I moved out when I was 19, so it's before that.
So you're a kid. We're kids.
Yeah. I was whatever 17 maybe.
I was probably like then I'm like 22. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh my God, but proves my point. You don't like, and I don't think Chrissy's saying don't eat the food at all. It's just like, hey guys, there's like one apple and one.
You have
whatever.
one apple left for yourself, so.
And then also, but here's the problem for Chrissy in my mind. Don't target yourself like that. You got to just like
let it go.
Let it go. You don't have to. I mean, I enjoy the conflict and drama because it's like.
Oh, it's fun to watch.
But
you think to yourself, oh, you probably shouldn't have said that. But
I would just
this
internally.
This is a perfect example. Make people hungry, make people tired, right?
Yeah.
You say things that you shouldn't say, and that's the game.
That's the whole
tired,
game.
Uncomfortable, hungry.
Yeah.
And also paranoid. You put all those things together, it's like it does stuff.
Fascinating.
And we're seeing it.
I don't know how long I could last not saying anything. Like you're all starving. Well, she got even pissy because like Say's reason for not participating in one of the challenges was basically, I'm just tired. I've participated in them all. This is where I think Chrissy, like, who cares, said, well, I've participated in them all. This isn't a competition. Well, I guess it is.
Yeah,
Actually, it is a
really.
competition, but it was like unnecessary. And listen, there's going to be people who think it's okay just to laze around. Now, all that being said, I don't like that.
Well,
I personally would be very annoyed with like if we're all building building shelters and doing whatever around camp and someone's eating the last of the food and laying around. I would have a problem. I just hope I would have the wherewithal to not say anything, as painful as that would be.
the
Or
smarter thing would be to talk to your tribe about it when she's not around.
I
To
was
get her
just
out.
about to say it. You just kind of go like, did you notice? Like,
Because we've seen people voted out for food before.
a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's where you just like you go to Mitch and be like, have you noticed that like
She ate the last share?
but I still, don't you think that used to be a bigger concept, was sort of supporting tribe or fishing if they had the fishing gear, feeding people, working hard, like that used to play a bigger role, I think.
First 10 years, that's what it was about.
Yeah. And now, like, because
Different.
people, that would be their strategy. They'd be like, I'm going to work hard.
This
No
is
one
back in the
gives a
day where
shit.
you had to boil the water they had.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
They don't do that. I think people got sick or something. I mean, it is still network television.
Yeah, and it's dangerous. You have them having to boil water, and what, you're going to dehydrate people? Like, I get that you're not eating, but you have to give them clean water. I'd be interested to know
Like the
when
year
that
people stole shoes. They ended up giving you got to give them shoes.
Exactly.
You can't have just people from the city walking around a jungle with no shoes on all the time. Like, you can't.
It was like
right?
the time. I know Big Brother's different, but there was actually right in the start though, like a woman had been kind of like having a showmance with one of the guys, and she actually took his toothbrush and cleaned the toilet with it, put it back, but production told them, because I'm like, you can't, like, that's too far.
It's too far.
It's just Anyway, moving on. So, how do you feel about what
Anywho.
Say was doing?
I mean, they're both kind of assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, they both just say stuff and they shouldn't. I mean, I if I was in Say's shoes, I'd be annoyed too, but I don't think I'd be in Say's shoes. I think when it comes to food that's left over, there should almost always be, hey, is it okay if I have another one? I still have an app. Like, if she said that,
that's what I mean.
She just went and got it. So like a couple words would have totally, hey guys, I know my share. I'm gonna have this kiwi and I only have an apple left. Cool. Yeah. Might have defused it before.
It would have defused it.
Right. So I think when it comes to food, and this is, people think they watch these games and they practice like fire and some of the challenges. Yeah. You got to take cues on stuff like that too. Like, food's a big deal, right? And that's something that obviously Say didn't pay attention to in her many years of watching Survivor.
Yeah. Because I feel like she's been watching it for her whole life probably, and it's like, dude, food.
But you only think of challenges and stuff, right? Some of them.
Well, and I think where I struggle with her is I just feel she has a sense of entitlement. Like, don't tell me what to, don't tell me what to do. And I think it's not just her. There's a few of them with a sense of entitlement, and that's where I think.
She's an intelligent woman that thinks she's always right.
Yeah, that's true.
She's intelligent, but
she's very intelligent.
She just thinks she's always right.
But I think the intelligence, she has a lot of intelligence, but she's missing some of that sort of emotional intelligence of picking up interpersonal cues.
Well, like Mitch would say, tact.
Tact, yeah. I mean, and if you think about
like
it,
Say would say tact. Actually, Say's the one that said tact.
Which is ironic.
Getting jealous, right? Then she doesn't have any.
Well, and that's what drives me bananas. Actually, it's when like. They get mad at one person. It's always the one who's complaining the most, and then it's like, you just did the same. It's the same scenario here. Anyway, so now we're at the sanctuary. I think that was it.
Goddamn milk! Oh my god!
I know. So the milk obsession.
Chugging milk.
It's weird. Like, did he just get obsessed with that Got Milk commercial? Maybe, I don't. It's very interesting. I mean,
I had a glass of milk and chocolate milk. Now I brought chocolate milk here a couple weeks ago.
I used to
half gallon.
Every day. I mean, when I used to eat like Mr. Sub every day when I worked at Kmart when I was a teenager, I would always get like chocolate milk. But I mean, the guy's in great shape though. I don't know. He's doing something right.
I kind of like David.
I'm starting to like him. Remember, you didn't like him at first though.
Yeah, he's corny.
Yeah, but corny. There's nothing. What's wrong with corny?
I don't know. It takes a minute. You got to see through the corn.
That's true.
You got to see through those cornfields to see the sun shine sometimes.
And I'm going to leave it there.
Nothing really happened in Sanctuary other than Katie thinks Charity's so fake, I think. I mean, did anything else happen?
Katie.
Or who?
Who's Katie?
Eva thinks Charity's so fake. Sorry, I wrote the wrong name
Yeah,
down.
okay, actually, what do you think about that? So she is picking up on certain cues, I think,
Mhm.
or do you think, because I don't think David has said anything about it yet to her. So I thought that was interesting. So good for her. And then you go back to Loggy, they're just eating food, and then they all sort of,
Crying story time. Crying story time.
which I knew you
Let's
wouldn't
all talk
like.
about all our negativity stuff and cry and hug. They think they'll never lose again, and they're now a voting bloc.
Yeah, they called themselves the Block. Nicole wouldn't like that because, that's New Kids on the Block. We call them the Block. I don't think you do, actually. I thought it was like kind of touching, but it's a lot of, I hope, like, because Camilla
It
said,
was a
like,
whose
I,
story is worse contest.
I guess you could look at it. I think they were just trying to share. But Camilla, I'm a little worried because when she did her interview, she's saying like, "How can I vote these people out after all that bonding?" So I'm a little worried that that's gonna sort of lessen her bite. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, it depends on when the merge is.
It depends. Well, yeah.
Anywho,
So let's talk immunity challenge. Yeah, yeah.
swim with ball pulling boat with chest inside. Get keys. Unlock keys to open chest. Dig under lock. Get balls. Balance balls on table maze hole. That's what I have written
You
down.
did it like Kevin does it in The Office, Nick.
Less
You do.
words.
I'm gonna let you say it more because it's like less word,
Why just do it on the
more
speech thing
sense.
and it misses words once in a while?
So
So I mean, right
typical,
away, green team gets their first immunity.
right?
They get first place in this one.
Let me just. Well, I have more words about it because I
More to it. Well, go
there's more
ahead.
to it. I was like, yeah, I think
I
it's
mean, before we
log.
get to the Eva stuff, but like
Yeah.
they handily, like the green team handily wins. Like they've got their third ball before the second people start the maze. I think.
Yes, that's right. Okay, you're right. I forgot that they got it so quickly, and then it was basically Siva versus Logie.
Exactly.
So basically, it comes down to Eva, and I think Say and Eva? I think it
It
was.
was Eva and maybe Say and like they were both
Chrissy
because
and Say
every
kind of went.
the caveat of this maze is there's 4 balls
Everyone has to
and
get
you
one
can
in.
switch out, but you can't hide from it. Everybody's got to get 1 ball in at least. And Say and Eva were having the most challenges
Yeah.
out of everybody. So yeah, they ended up being the last ones trying, right?
Because they kept trading out, and then they were
Yeah.
both the very last. Yeah, that's right. They were. It was both them. And Eva, like throughout, gets progressively upset and sort of overstimulated and upset. I'm gonna cry. I'm moved. I got moved by this whole scenario. So basically, what happens is Eva is the last one. Her whole team kind of gathers around and supports her, and she's just. I'm
And the
so
hysterics.
She is. She's in hysterics that she can't do it. Sorry, it was very. I found it so human. I found the whole thing so human, and it really did. Like I'm not gonna lie, I bawled my eyes out. So, and we'll talk about it in a second. Like Jeff cried. I mean, my God. So,
Well, I mean, finally she wins, obviously.
like she wins it
And then she's in hysterics as she's winning, right? Just losing it. And
because it's
nobody understands why or knows what's going on
the
at this
only
point, right?
person who knows is
Joe.
Joe.
And
'Cause
they
she
have these
has.
shots of Joe. I'm getting emotional now. Like they have
I
these
am.
shots of
I'm
Joe
like,
standing there, just looking at her like a dad, right? Like really worried.
like
And then she finally gets it in, and then she's doing these just heavy breathing, like just in a she's having a panic attack.
it looks like a pure panic attack.
She's having what she calls an episode,
But
right?
to
She
me,
can't breathe. She's overstimulated. And then Jeff's like, Joe, you want to go give her a hug?
and
Which is
Joe's just
really rare.
looking at her, and you can just
It's right over.
see that he wants to go. I'm sorry, it's so.
It was the
like,
most emotional I've been on Survivor in years. I was crying. Like it's
I cry. You cry sometimes. By the time they like Jeff. So to Nick's point, I'm sorry I interrupted because it
Joe's
was
like taking her out of it, right? Like wiping her head, like doing
Je-
this thing to bring her out of what she's
because
going
she told
through.
him. Remember from the
Yeah,
first
but
episode?
like, how did he even know how to do this, right?
She
It's
told him
just
how to
like,
do it.
oh, did she? I didn't
So in the
remember her
first
telling him
episode,
specifically how
yeah,
to do
she's
that.
like, I need you to help calm me down. I need to be held. I need you to hold my hands. Like she told him what she needed. And you could see before Jeff told him to go over, like Joe just was like, he was just wanting, and Jeff, to his credit, and when he went over and helped her, I don't know. It's still, there's something so vulnerable and so human about that moment that her whole team was there for her. Like again, they normally aren't allowed to go to each other's things. Jeff just saying go over, and Joe just doing that in front of everyone and reveal. It was just, it was like for just
It
that
wasn't even a
moment.
thought.
Yeah, they put the
This
game
isn't the
aside.
game. This isn't the game. Like this
Like
person's in
she's,
trouble.
and for her to then turn around and share that with everyone, like the amount of courage and just the humanity of it. and that she's so young, like she's like 22 or something, was just, it hit me. Like I was bawling.
Well, the fact that the doctor said, I don't remember her saying this before, saying that she would never even have a job. Like she was so far autistic, I guess, when she was young,
She must have
that
been like
they said that she would barely be verbal, I think,
she was probably very low functioning
at the time.
at the time when she was diagnosed, and to have parents do what they did in and it's called mainstreaming. I dated someone who had a child on the spectrum, and they mainstreamed her, and for her, like whatever her parents did and whatever she has inside of her, like there was just something. That is the most I've cried on.
And Jeff crying killed me.
Jeff crying destroyed me. I couldn't, like,
It
because
was
he's a
like I've
dad.
never seen him have emotion like that.
Well, and he even said, like, I've never cried. That's the first. So that moment to step
One of the most
away,
poignant moments in Survivor
yeah,
history, for sure.
that goes down as, for me, the most poignant. Like, I've never bawled. Like, I've fucking bawled. I have to
Now, do
throw
you
an
think her
F-bomb.
being there is it going to be a positive for her or a negative? Because there's going to be a lot of people watching the show also going, was it a good idea to let her on the show?
I think it was.
Because before Joe comforted her, I was there like, is this cruel? Because she was just in a moment. Like,
I
I
think
think
they
it's
would
good.
have.
I think it'll be good for her, but I think there's going to be a lot of people going, man, this is
I think
hard to watch, which isn't a bad thing. It
I think
brings it
it's
to
hard to
reality.
watch. I think it's something people need to see, because it's definitely with autism, but it's the same as, like, even seeing Andy have a panic attack, or someone, like, I mean, those are real physical reactions to things, and I think it helps to sort of to see,
Destigmatize it a little bit.
yeah, like to talk about it, like this is where people need to see, like, look at what happened, but she overcame something. Someone went and protected her, and I think that like went and helped her, which I think also shows this is what humans are here to do. We're social beings. Like, we're here to help each other. We're not here to tear each other down. And when there's something that's a real thing, which that was, they all put their swords down. You know what I mean? Like, it's a game, but they all put it down for that moment. And yeah, as it's happening, I'm like, oh my God, is she going to be I'm like, she'll be able to handle it. Like, it's just
Because there was a good 20, 30 seconds of her. I don't know how long it was.
it was long.
But
It was
before
like,
they let Joe, before he let Joe, you could see Jeff watching. Like, do I could get medics in here? Like you can
would've
see
got
him
the
doing his
medics, yeah.
Rolodex of what he needs to do right now. Because he's like, it's not calming down.
No.
What do I do? Do I go over? He obviously knows Joe and her have a relationship, which is whatever. Obviously, he watches the show, right? But
He's the executive producer.
you can see him just like, what do I do? And he's
then
like, he made
Joe,
the right decision, because I don't
and
think the medics would have de-panicked her.
Yeah.
That would have just been way more excitement, right? So let's send Joe over and see if we can calm her down.
And I think they would have gotten her oxygen or something. You know what I mean? I think
it would have sorted itself out no matter the decision. I just think the right decision was made.
Jeff made the right decision. She made the right decision, and her parents probably like had a I don't know. I feel like she probably had that strategy going in. Find someone to trust who's trustworthy, and man, she nailed it. And tell him, her, whoever, what you have and how to help, because he knew to grab her hands. I remember them talking about that, and to how she needs to be held. Like, she needs to be held, like, but how he did it, like, it was so beautiful. Like, whatever happens in the game, like, the utter purity of what he did for her as like just a fatherly figure and as a human being. Sorry, I'm gonna cry again.
Well, you can tell he's seen some shit, right?
Yeah.
To be able to be that calm in that moment.
Well, that's because he's a firefighter,
he's a firefighter, right? Like he's seen some stuff.
Anyway,
I mean, he's seen, he's been with people who's
lost skin,
whatever, have died, and not even the lost skin, but like even dealing with the victims' families, like right there, probably at a fire. Like, this kind of calmness in these situations is innate with these people if they're good at their job, right? Because you're not only fighting fires, but you're dealing with human tragedy on a daily basis, right? So,
and right in the face, it's in your face,
it's
and
right there, it's raw, it's now. Yeah.
And I just respect him so much. And Jeff, it shows his humanity, because you're right, he doesn't show emotions, because that's not what he's there to do. He's there to be tough and push it along and whatever. And yeah, I was fucking like weeping.
Yeah, it was a tough watch. I think no matter what happens, those two will probably be friends forever after. Like,
of course they will, and
he'll meet the family. Like, that's
And if neither of them win, one of them's getting the favorite, whatever. I mean, Joe, but her, from the start, I'm like, that she has basically taken, because the reminder of them saying she wouldn't be much more than she'd always have to be, she wouldn't be able to live on her own, or she could maybe marry a guy who's autistic or someone autistic, and that she's been so successful and she's been so determined, it speaks to her character and to her parents' parenting, in my opinion. And
Agree.
I
Yep.
am very impressed with her, and whatever happens, like what she has gained from that experience and that demonstration, and that she then right after shared it with everyone, like such a personal, vulnerable thing, is going to inspire so many people who struggle with mental health things, who struggle with neurodivergence, who struggle with like autism. Anyway, I will get off my soapbox. It was a very moving for me. It
No, but right
was,
after, it
yeah,
was very moving. Like I
yeah.
cried.
I'm surprised. I was like, I wonder if I was like, I
I was
think
tearing
this
up
will
big
even
time.
hit Nick. I was
I
like,
wasn't bawling.
I
Just make
was.
it clear, but
You've met me.
I was tearing down
I'm a
the
crier. I was bawling. Anyway.
But next comes in where emotion makes you make bad decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Rose can't
yeah.
figure out the
Oh,
puzzle.
yeah, I know
Eva figures
exactly
out the
what you're gonna talk
puzzle.
about. Yeah.
Everybody's lovey because of Eva, of course, on David's harem. I think the purple team. And Rose gives Eva the idol.
Star.
Sorry, is her name Star?
Yeah.
I have these names all messed up. Star. I don't know why I thought Rose, but she gives Eva the idol after she figures the puzzle out.
And here's the thing. This is where if something super emotional happens, just give it a beat. Don't make any decisions right after it. I get you're in the moment, because remember, Star and Eva didn't like each other. So Star is just like so impressed with her, which I was glad to see that bonding, but it's like, then she's like, I'm just gonna tell everyone. I'm like, no. I was like, don't do it. It's still a game. You can be kind to her and be impressed with her and be moved by her, but you do not tell the team. Then of course Eva figures it out, because it's a jumble, right? Like, and she's like she's, I don't know, maybe engineers aren't good at it, but she's like an engineer or some shit. Like, so yeah, she figures it out. And then she gives it to her, and I'm like, to Eva's credit, she's like, it's for the whole team, but I hope David's in her ear saying, because you don't know what's going to happen once the merge comes, right? So,
I mean, they didn't like each other until this moment.
I know. So I'm like,
are you telling me you're just going to start liking each other?
Well, because there's a reason you didn't like each other. You know what I mean? Anyway, at a minimum, tell just Eva on her own. Like, you don't tell the whole anyway, I thought that was not a good decision. And then I think Siva, who's the losing tribe, we go to Siva.
What was her name? The one
Bianca?
that was...
Who didn't have a vote?
She had, up until the end, the most genius plan ever.
She fucked that up. Or she messed that up. She messed that up.
Set. And then she tells Cedric.
It's like, just let them go to 2-2. Like, just...
It was genius. It was a genius plan.
It really was. It really was.
And then she tells him right before, and she knows she should have. You can see it when she's telling him.
Let me ask you this, though, because I was surprised by the vote count at the end. So not a spoiler, Bianca gets voted out. And who did she tell? She told Cedric.
Cuts her throat.
Yeah. After all, and Cedric, Faye already hasn't trusted you. Like, if you're protecting Faye, she already doesn't trust you. Like, and you know this. Like, you know that she is never going to be able to let go that you've put her name down. Like, that's her personality. Like, that's her driver. So for him not to take the opportunity
to vote her out,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that was even a smart choice on his part. Like, I don't think Bianca was the smart choice necessarily, because I don't think Say and him are going to stay loyal to each other at all.
Yeah, I mean, he would have had her in her back pocket if he stuck with Bianca, but it's tough not to go with the easy vote.
I get it. I kind of get it, but I just think so. What surprised me is that it was like what I want to know is, so did Cedric only tell Chrissy and not tell Say? Because Say voted for Chrissy. That's what was weird about it. I was like, okay, Chrissy. And they showed Say writing Chrissy's name, which threw me off. And then I'm like, and then Mitch, they didn't tell Mitch.
Say writing Chrissy's name made me think the plan was working.
Yes.
And that's what they're
Mitch
going for,
wrote Say's name down. So now that's going to be a freaking problem.
He knew he was voting for her anyway.
He did, but I mean now, so Chrissy and Mitch, that tells me there's a bit of a crack there. They already weren't close to begin with, but they're from the same original tribe. Cedric didn't tell Mitch, and they've bonded together. Like, I just think on a Cedric's part, it was not a strategic move. Like, he should have pulled in Mitch, who he already has a connection with, and like it should have been and Say. frankly.
He's
Like,
causing more chaos than
I feel he's creating more churn than he needs to create, because had he,
good for us.
well, it'll be fun, but he should have just told, and why he wouldn't tell Say, although he probably doesn't trust her. Like, then why wouldn't you vote Say out in the first place? Like, if you're gonna vote out Bianca, I get it, right? Easy vote, but you could have got everybody on board. But then he doesn't trust Say. But tell Mitch. Like, tell Mitch. I don't get that. Right?
Cedric is bad at everything.
At this game, I mean, this guy's a doctor. He's a smart man. Like, obviously, like, to become a doctor, years of schooling, but it's like he's unable to
He's
like do the
saved
compartment.
Say twice, and even the first
And
time he saved her, he voted for her twice.
And he's not gonna get credit for it. Like, she's gonna turn on him the second they merge, in my opinion, which is next week.
Yes, it's happening next week, right?
So how would you rate?
Exciting.
So how would you rate 10?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably an 8. Just the emotional part of it made it pretty big. I liked, and you know, and David's harem is really,
They're crushing.
they're killing it. I wonder if they're going to be a team moving forward, or, I mean, I would assume Eva would go back to Joe, or is he going to pull Joe in because Joe only got one guy now? I'm not sure who else Joe would have.
They kind of hinted at, so I'm going to give it
Like, our tribal line's dead now?
An 8.3, because like that it touched me so deeply, like that it moved me so deeply as a human being. It's a monster score, as Portnoy would say, monster score. Nick, 8.3 is a monster score.
100%.
Okay?
Yeah, I'll say 8.1. I don't want to be a rookie.
Yeah, I was like, Nick's being a bit of a rookie.
Yeah.
So I think I think it'll be interesting because they're hinting that it's going to be sort of the men getting together and then the women. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. I think that
They seem to hint that like every year.
They always hint that. My prediction is Eva and Joe, absolutely. I mean, there's no way they're not working together. I think they bring in David. I think David would like Joe. So I think it's those three, and then I don't know. Because like
Eva in there too. Eva be in there too for sure.
That's who I said.
You said Eva. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's Eva, Joe, David, and then who do we have left?
It's gonna be an interesting first episode.
It's gonna be interesting
chaos.
because like it's gonna just be running around. Like you got Chrissy and Mitch who aren't really close. Thomas is gone. Who's Shaheen? Like I think he's gonna make the wrong choice again, as he always does. I think he'll drive. Let's be an all men's alike, which is just never. Sometimes it works, I guess. But Eva feels more comfortable with men anyway, so I don't know. Like, does she just join the men's? Say is gonna. I think Say and Mary might work together. I think so, but Say is just a little volatile. Cedric's just gonna.
Say and Mary might get left out just by themselves.
That's true, and then they'll bring in Cedric. Who knows? You never know who's gonna even get to the like. It's just crazy.
It is definitely. I'm in the dark, which is a good thing. I like being in the dark.
I don't like it when it gets too. Do you know what I hate? When it gets like, okay, that there's an alliance and they're just voting everyone out. It gets so boring to me.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
No, we have a lot of chaos. There's a lot of chaotic people.
A lot of emotions, which changed minds very quickly.
That emotional thing was crazy, but great episode. Final thoughts?
I don't think, I'm excited for the merge. I mean,
I love the merge.
I'm excited that there's going to be reward challenges, and you have to choose people to go into rewards with you. That always changes the dynamic. Yeah. There's so many different things that changes the dynamic. And hopefully we do another Survivor. What do you do with you get the money? I hope they do one of those
the auction.
This year.
I was just thinking that the auction, Survivor auction.
I think do it every year, but maybe they'll save that for 50 the next auction. I'm not sure, but
it's very popular.
They're already doing a thing. Did you see the commercial where you can vote for? Yeah.
I should be voting. We should be voting, Nick. We should be voting.
Yeah, I should be looking at it.
That? I mean, really?
No, I didn't. I forgot about it until right now.
Survivor commentators.
Yeah. We should go in and see what that process looks like anyway. I
should look at it. I've just been working so much. Your face like, I don't care. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Helps a lot. Go to Kayfabe Wrestling Talk. Check it out. Like, subscribe there. And of course, the Dirty Glass Podcast. Go like and subscribe and watch all the hijinks over there. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And let us know what you think. We will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bang, bang.